Well, good morning, everyone. Joining me this morning are Secretary Tiffany Robinson of the Maryland Department of Labor and Byron O'Geist, the former Deputy Assistant to the President for Economic Policy and Deputy Director of the National Economic Council. Byron is now the CEO and co-founder of Opportunity at Work, a nonprofit workforce development organization whose mission is to increase career opportunities for skilled adults in the United States who do not have a four-year college degree. As a lifelong small businessman, I know firsthand that a growing economy and an expanding private sector goes hand in hand with a flourishing and growing workforce. And when I became governor 7 years ago, we made it a top priority to build an unrivaled ecosystem of job creation and economic growth in Maryland, and to build lasting career pathways that put more people to work in good-paying jobs. We brought the P-TECH model to Maryland, which gives young Marylanders the opportunity to earn an associate's degree tuition-free simultaneously with their high school diploma, while also getting the benefit of mentors and paid summer internships, and which puts them first in line for great jobs after graduation. To address the need for skilled workers in the booming field of computer science, we enacted the Access Initiative, which requires every public school in Maryland to offer computer science courses. And our state is recognized as a national leader in workforce development, job training, and registered apprenticeships. And our renowned Earn Maryland program is designed to address skill gaps and personnel shortages among Maryland businesses. Through Earn Maryland, we've already provided job training to over 8,200 unemployed or underemployed Marylanders. 81% of them have obtained employment, and more than 17,000 Maryland workers have received training to earn a new certification, credential, or skill. We have also been recognized for growing apprenticeships in Maryland more than any other administration in state history by offering registered apprenticeships, not just in the construction trades, but also in non-traditional sectors, including cybersecurity, information technology, digital and social media, and healthcare occupations. And it is more important than ever that we work together to find new ways to build a steady pipeline of talented, well-trained, skilled workers for the jobs of the future. That means pursuing bold, innovative ideas and being committed to leaving no skilled workers behind. And that's exactly what brings us together this morning. Today we're announcing the launch of a multi-pronged effort which makes Maryland the first state in the nation to formally eliminate the four-year college degree requirement from thousands of state jobs, and to work with our partners to market these roles to job seekers who are skilled through alternative routes, or as Opportunity at Work calls them, STARS. The state of Maryland currently employs more than 38,000 people, and our Department of Budget and Management now estimates that more than half of those jobs can substitute relevant experience, training, or a community college education for a four-year degree. Through these efforts that we're launching today, we are ensuring that qualified non-degree candidates are regularly being considered for these career-changing opportunities. Just today, we added more than 300 government jobs that are currently open and available, which no longer require a four-year degree, and we've already listed these jobs on Opportunity at Work's innovative Stellar Works platform at stellarworks.org. I'm also pleased to announce that we're partnering with Opportunity at Work to specifically identify STARS in the IT, administrative, and customer service sectors. According to Opportunity at Work, there are more than 70 million adults in the United States who do not have a four-year college degree, but who are skilled through alternative routes. These STARS are individuals who are active in the labor force, have a high school diploma or equivalent, and have developed skills through community college, apprenticeships, military service, or other on-the-job experience. And one of the many costs of the COVID-19 pandemic was the impact on our workforce, where we are still seeing significant shortages across so many industry sectors. And STARS represent an untapped pool for employers and a potential long-term solution to these shortages and to other labor challenges like the skills gap. Of the more than 2.8 million people working in the state of Maryland today, 1.3 million, nearly half, are considered STARS. Nationally, 61% of veterans, 61% of black workers, 66% of rural workers, and 55% of Hispanic workers are STARS. We're so excited to be taking this action today at the state level here in Maryland. A major national survey recently named Maryland as the most improved state for business in America, based in large part on our relentless focus on innovation. This is exactly the kind of bold, bipartisan solution we need to continue to lead the nation by giving more Marylanders the opportunities that they need to be successful by addressing the challenges that face our workforce and our business and employer communities. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Byron O'Geese, the CEO, co-founder of Opportunity at Work, to talk a little bit more about this exciting partnership. Byron?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Governor Hogan. And I'm Byron O'Geese, CEO of Opportunity at Work. I'm delighted to be here in Maryland and delighted to be kicking off this first-of-its-kind partnership between Opportunity at Work and a state government. States play an incredibly important role in developing economic opportunity and economic competitiveness, and states are significant employers. So to have the state of Maryland removing bachelor's degree pre-screens, the sort of requirements that say you can't even apply for a job whether you have the skills or not unless you have a bachelor's degree, it is a very important step. It is a very promising initiative that I think other states should absolutely look to and other employers should look to, including other employers right here in Maryland, because as Governor Hogan emphasized, there are over 1.3 million Maryland workers who may not have a bachelor's degree but absolutely do have skills for jobs employers need to do today and jobs that they're going to need in the future, because at the end of the day, work is solving problems. It's building things, it's healing people, and I want to emphasize what we saw in the pandemic. We saw essential workers reconfiguring supply chains, changing safety protocols, adapting. There was a lot of courage, but there was also a lot of skill. And that's 2/3 of those essential workers are STARS, who are skilled through alternative routes. So whether you have gained the skills in the military, whether you've gained the skills through one of the many workforce training programs here in the state of Maryland, you ought to be able to take your skills and do the work and contribute to your highest potential. And that is what's so exciting about this initiative. The role that Opportunity at Work will play, working with Maryland and the state of Maryland and other employers, is really to help connect from all of these great pathways that the governor talked about, all of these terrific programs that you can develop skills through, as well as on the job, to do that last mile connection to employers, to help employers say, not just what degrees do we want, but what skills are actually required to do the job, to translate that into language they can connect to sort of the competency-based curriculum of these best-in-class training programs, and can actually do the vetting so that you can have STARS who can do relevant work can be put forward. And the other really important thing that Maryland is doing here is it's saying proactively to workers who are skilled through alternative routes, who gain their skills on the job, doing the work, that we welcome you, that we see your skills, we value them, and we want every person in Maryland, all the talents, to contribute to the state's competitiveness. Maryland is rightly known for its excellent universities, and that's a very important part of its competitiveness. But there is another skilled workforce in Maryland, and with this initiative the governor is launching today, we're recognizing that workforce and we're bringing it to the fore. I'll close by saying that We really want a economy where if you can do the job, you can get the job. And if you can learn new valuable skills, you can earn more. And if you make the effort, you can also make progress. And this initiative is a very important contribution to that here in the state of Maryland. So I'm proud to be a part of it, and I'm proud that Opportunity at Work will be collaborating with the state to make it happen. Thank you. And Secretary Robinson.
Thank you, Governor, for your incredible leadership on this important workforce issue. And Byron, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you and your team on such a policy milestone for Maryland job seekers and workers. Both yours and the Governor's commitment and passion for creating life-changing opportunities for stars has been an inspiration to me and my team. I, of course, want to echo everything Governor Hogan and Byron have offered this morning, but I also want to add that this is an exciting new reality for many in our current state workforce. Whether it be at the Maryland Department of Labor or Agriculture or Environment, there will now be scores of highly talented and experienced state workers being considered for positions and promotions that in the past required a four-year degree. This new career pathway is recognition that expertise, education, responsibility, and commitment to excellence can and is developed through many diverse routes. As the head of a state agency, I know from personal conversations with my colleagues, agency supervisors, and employees that today's announcement will empower many hardworking Marylanders who know they have everything it takes to excel at a higher level, to proudly and confidently take that next step up the ladder by applying for these jobs that now match their qualifications. The expansion of meaningful opportunity is one of our society's biggest challenges, which is why we're so proud at the Maryland Department of Labor of our many workforce development programs, from re-entry to registered apprenticeship to our nationally renowned EARN program. And today, it's an honor and a privilege to be here as part of this first-of-its-kind announcement to expand opportunities in Maryland even further. And as Byron predicted, I'm quite sure that this marks the beginning of many life-changing partnerships across the country. So thank you, Byron. Thank you, Governor.
And thank you, Madam Secretary. And thank you, Byron. With that, we'll be happy to take some questions.
Governor, with this, since you're, I guess for lack of a better description, lowering the standards or qualifications somewhat, are the salaries going to reduce as well? Are they going to stay where they are?
No, the salaries are going to stay where they are, and I wouldn't say we're lowering the standards at all. It's just we believe that there are, I think, 65% of all the state workforce that doesn't, that could have other skills, that they could do a terrific job and be just as qualified or more qualified even without that four-year degree. So we're pretty excited about it, and that people shouldn't be compensated based on their years of education, but what their skills are to do the job.
Governor, can this be done without legislative approval?
What's that?
Can this be done without legislative approval?
Yes.
Mr. Governor, there seems to be concern with some consumer advocates that with the gas tax holiday, that there's some opportunity for gas companies or gas stations to kind of pocket the benefits of that, and then it won't pass on to consumers. Is there any mechanism that the state has or that you're considering or in conversations with legislators that to make sure that consumers do feel the benefit of that tax holiday?
Well, we've discussed that with the legislature to make sure that that doesn't happen, and we're going to press all of the providers to make sure that we do have actions that we take in every time we have an emergency situation where we're making sure there's not price gouging and things like that. But this legislation, I believe, it's not final yet. We're waiting for it to come up maybe tomorrow or the next day. But I think it's going to include wording that does address that issue.
Hey, Governor, related to the gas tax, how convinced are you that this will be a simple 30-day fix, and does there need to be some kind of a trigger provision that allows it to extend if the gas prices don't drop below a certain number?
I'm not convinced that it's going to be solved in 30 days, and I actually pressed for longer. But that's where we are with a compromise agreement with the legislature. It's going to be for 30 days, and we'll have to see what kinds of actions we take if it's still.
Trigger provision that allows an extension?
We certainly would be willing to consider that.
Governor, now that people have talked about the gas tax, and it's opened up the conversation for maybe addressing that, allowing administration or they automatically move with the CPI.
Yeah.
Is there any?
We support that bill as well. It's kind of ancient history now, so people don't remember it. But one of the very first things I did was submit a bill to the legislature in 2015 we repealed the rain tax, and we put in the bill to eliminate that automatic increase in the gas tax. And we did not get the support of either the House or the Senate. But it's something I've been in favor of for a long time. So now that there's a bill that's been submitted, I believe, in the House and the Senate, and we already said last week that we strongly support that bill.
Since we, Comptroller mentioned that was a 7.5 or 6 or more than 7 billion overflow here. And there's still been some discussion about maybe retirement tax, different things you push for. Is there any reason now not to do this?
There's no reason whatsoever, and that's our two remaining priorities. And I think as of today, there are 28 days left in the session of the 90-day session. We're winding down, 4 weeks left. Two big unaddressed things. One is the crime bill, and the other one is the retirement tax. But we're still hopeful. We're working with leaders in the legislature in both parties and both houses, and we're going to continue to push to get them both done. There's no reason whatsoever why we can't return a little bit of money to the taxpayers. We've never been in better shape with respect to a huge amount of money we put in the rainy day fund, the biggest surplus in state history, eliminating the entire deficit, and our economy is booming. Revenues are way higher than projected.
Governor, can you give us an update on the state's proposal for keeping the Commanders Stadium in Maryland, and how much do you think the state should spend in order to keep it?
No, I can't really update you on the proposal to the Commanders because we don't have a proposal to the Commanders. But I know they're just in the past few days they've been talking with folks about different opportunities and different things that we don't have a lot of detail from the Commanders to make any kind of a. I can tell you that we're not interested in building a $1.2 billion stadium for the Commanders. That's not going to happen with Maryland tax dollars. I understand there's some talk in Virginia about that. I would say, good luck. I mean, look, we would like to keep them in Maryland. They have 5 more years left on the agreement to stay here. We've been talking with them for nearly 8 years about multiple different sites and different ideas, and they go back and forth between Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. We have 2 NFL teams and a MLB team. We'd like to keep all of them, but we're not going to spend $1.2 billion to build a stadium for this team. It's not going to happen. In fact, every discussion I've ever had with Dan Snyder for 8 years was he does not want taxpayer money to build a stadium, that they want to build the stadium themselves. So I understand there's some different talk in the past day or two with legislators. We have not been a part of that.
Governor, do you get the sense at this point the team is using Maryland as a bargaining chip to get a smear offer from?
It's hard to tell. I think they're using everybody back and forth as they have been for 8 years. They're negotiating, trying to pit everybody against each other. But we're not going to get into a bidding war over them, and we're not going to be proposing $1.2 billion to build them a stadium. If Virginia wants to do that and they want to go to Virginia, I would say good luck.
Governor, speaking of crime, over the weekend there was another violent weekend in the city. Saturday there was a shooting almost every 2.5 hours. We've talked about this before. You've had meetings with the police commissioner and the mayor. You said that it wasn't necessarily time to declare a state of emergency or take further actions. Have your thoughts changed on that, given the level of violence that we continue to see?
I'm not sure what the state of emergency would do. There's no question that the level of violence has escalated, and it's a terrible problem, which is why our number one priority continues to be passing our crime bill. Because our problem has been that we've done these surges numerous times. We've sent in state and federal officers in surrounding jurisdictions to help. We've arrested hundreds of violent repeat offenders, but nobody ever goes to jail. So the shooters are still on the street shooting people, and that has to be addressed. But and we have another couple of weeks to try to get that done. But yeah, I understand the complete frustration of the people of Baltimore that they haven't been able to address the problem and are not willing to. A big part of the problem is at the prosecutor's office as well. Sometimes the city, the police, Baltimore City Police are doing a decent job, but they keep arresting the same people over and over and over again, and no one ever gets prosecuted.
This afternoon, the city state's attorney is having a news conference to talk about an interactive dashboard about her record for the last 7 years. Have you seen any of that information?
No, I haven't seen any of it, but I would just wish she would focus on prosecuting violent criminals.
Governor, back on the gas tax, if you had your druthers, you end up with a list of them, when would you reimpose the gas tax? At what point is it?
No one has any idea how long this crisis is going to last or the extent of it or how bad it is. Look, I think this is great that we were able to find bipartisan agreement with our friends in the legislature, in the Senate and the House to put a pause on this gas tax. But it's, it's somewhere roughly around 150 million a month that, in revenue. So it affects other decisions and things that we can and can't pay for. So that's where we are right now. I think the question earlier was, am I confident that all the problems can be solved in 30 days? And I'm not, but we have to wait and see. We'll take a look at this. This is going to be a big help. It's going to save consumers $150 million at the pump. As the prices are rising, it's got to help to have 37 cents less per gallon.
Hey, Governor, earlier this year you talked a little bit about another study that would look at waning efficacy of the vaccine among nursing home groups and people who are living in congregate living facilities. Any update on that and whether or not a fourth shot is warranted for those populations?
So the study is, the first round of studies was complete, and they're continuing to do another round on vulnerable patients just to get some more data. But we're talking about that. We haven't made any decisions with respect to it.
Governor, going back to the crime bills really quickly, I know that when I asked the Senate President about the Violent Firearms Offender Act, he said that they were going to make it a priority until the House takes action because it had come out of the Senate so many times. Have you had any conversations with the Speaker about that plan as well as the judicial transparency now that it's in their chamber?
Yeah, well, I was very disappointed in the Senate President making that statement because I was pleased that he was able to work with his colleagues to pass it 2 years in a row. We know that it died out in the House, and that's where the problem is. But for the Senate to say that they didn't want to act until the House did, that's probably not going to happen. So, having us and the Senate on board and pushing the House, I think is a better strategy, and we're continually discussing it with legislators to see how we can get something done.
Right now it's at producing the data by jurisdiction rather than judge. I know that was something that you had originally planned to do. Do you think that producing the data in this way will be beneficial at all?
I think it's going to be beneficial. I mean, I would have preferred our bill, which was a little more specific and I thought might have more of an impact, but we're very pleased that it looks as if that bill is going to pass both houses and be signed into law. So I think it'll be a step in the right direction. The other bill with respect to the repeat violent offenders and the people that commit felonies with guns, that one is the one that's still stuck.
Last question.
Governor, can you share with us about the update? Are you going to run for the presidency?
I'm going to break the news to you today that I'm just going to wait until after I'm done being governor before we talk about that politics stuff. How about that? All right, thank you.